And welcome back, everyone. People in Idaho go wild anytime a celebrity comes through our area, but did you know that one celebrity calls Boise home permanently? Well, his name might not ring a bell for all, but if you're a fan of names like Frank Sinatra or Ella Fitzgerald, there's a good chance you already know all about the host of Martini in the Morning.
Trisha Yearwood on MartiniInTheMorning.com.
Brad Chambers has been entertaining people over the airwaves for 50 years now, all over the country.
Dallas, Nashville, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Before that, I was in the Air Force and did Armed Forces Radio overseas in Alaska and lived in Madrid, Spain for 2 years. I was a disc jockey and TV newsman.
His last radio station was in Los Angeles, where he and his family lived for many years. He was eventually asked to transfer to a different station across the country, but instead of moving his entire family once again, he stayed put and created Martini in the Morning.
It's a music station, but it's more than that. It's a lifestyle. It's social, too. We have events that we do. We've done concerts at jazz clubs in LA. We're hoping to start doing them here in Boise. There's a real following for this kind of music in Boise.
Music he describes as a mix between jazz and standards and crooners.
It's Frank Sinatra, Mel Torme, Rosemary Clooney, Ella Fitzgerald, but it's also, there are a lot of contemporary artists doing this music. I mentioned Rod Stewart. Paul McCartney did an album of standards recently.
It's music that many would call audible history or art.
Some of the artists today, it's doubtful they'll be talking about them 10 years from now, let alone 100. Some of the stuff that we're playing, frankly, is going on 100 years old. Some of those songs are as contemporary and as relevant today as they were when they were first recorded.
But like any radio show, there's lots of talking in between the music. Luckily, he's helped out by his longtime co-host, Miriam Garfield, who sort of just fell into the position after becoming Brad's assistant.
Finally, one day he put me on the air. I think it was when Jimmy Darren came in. And I was listening to the interview, and I can't be quiet. So I was asking him questions, and it turned out where Brad just kept me on the air. So it was totally by mistake.
And while Miriam does the show from Los Angeles, where it all started,
8:50 in the West, 10 before 9 a.m. Pacific time at MartiniInTheMorning.com.
Brad now broadcasts right here in the Treasure Valley, a place he and his family are very familiar with.
I decided to move it back to Boise. This is my wife's hometown. She's a fifth-generation Idahoan. We met in 1987, and I've been coming to Boise since then. We've lived here full-time twice, and it's time to come home.
But coming home took time.
We kept it in LA for a long time because a lot of this music came from either Hollywood or it came from Broadway. So we figured that New York or LA had to be the base for it. And so many of the artists that we play that are still performing and touring and so on, so many of them were either they're based in LA or at some point they go through LA. So we stayed there, and finally we reached a point where we felt we had enough credibility in the industry that we could be anywhere, and that was our chance to come home.
And with family on the mind, the decision couldn't come soon enough.
We got a house full of grandkids right now. One of my grandsons goes to Capitol High. He's in a basketball tournament tonight. Get to go to his games. I was missing out on so much family stuff. MartiniInTheMorning.com. Tony DeSere next.
Martini in the Morning has roughly 120,000 regular listeners scattered all over the world, and though he's no longer broadcasting out of the entertainment capital of the world, he's landed somewhere even better.
This is a great place for family, and now I get to do what I love work-wise and hang out with my family and my wife, of course.
Of course, always very important. Well, Martini in the Morning airs live every weekday morning, but can be treated like a podcast, as each one of their shows is recorded and can be listened to on demand. If you'd like to check out Brad, Miriam, and the songs of one of the greatest musical generations of all time, we're going to have a link for you on IdahoNews6.com. So go ahead, get out your phone, open up the camera app, hold your phone to the QR code on the screen right now, and that's going to bring you right to our website, IdahoNews6.com, with all the information